Hi, I'm Gordon from Camera Labs, and this is my first looks review of the Sony FE 600mm f4 G Master, a high-end super telephoto lens for the alpha mirrorless system, aimed at professional sports and wildlife photographers. Costing around $13,000 US, it tops the earlier FE 400mm f2.8 to become Sony's most expensive and longest E-mount prime lens to date. But to be fair, this is the going rate for a 600mm f4, as the equivalent models from Canon and Nikon cost around the same amount. But for those on a more reasonable budget, Sony also released the FE 200 to 600mm zoom alongside it, which may be optically slower at f5.6 to 6.3 and also lack the G Master credentials, but it offers the flexibility of a zoom at the much more attractive price of around $2,000. It's a really nice lens to use, and I've got a separate video and review all about it if you're interested. These two lenses bring the total number in the Sony mirrorless catalogue to 51, and I had a chance to try them out over a couple of days at an official press event, shooting football, birds and jet skis with the Alpha A9 body. As a press event, Sony invited a bunch of journalists, YouTubers and photographers, so you'll see a load of videos and articles all about these lenses released at the same time to meet the announcement. Check them all out and let us know which tests you'd like to see more of. Right, on with the video. The FE 600mm f4 becomes the 10th G Master lens and the longest prime in Sony's native E-mount catalogue. With a long 600mm focal length and fast f4 focal ratio, it's designed for capturing distant subjects in low light with compressed perspective and very shallow depth of field effects. But as a G Master lens with an extreme spherical and 3 fluorite elements, the FE 600mm f4 is also designed to deliver sharp details right into the corners, even when used wide open at f4, or also even when used with teleconverters, allowing you to confidently position the subject absolutely anywhere on the frame. With a dust and moisture resistant barrel measuring 164mm in maximum diameter and 449mm in length, it's roughly similar in size to the Canon and Nikon DSLR equivalents, and weighing 3040 grams, it's just 10 grams lighter than the Canon too, although both of those models interestingly undercut the Nikon by about 800 grams. Like the earlier FE 400mm f2.8, Sony's concentrated most of the weight towards the centre of the barrel, making it feel well balanced in your hands. The first time you pick it up, it actually feels remarkably light for its size, but like any 3kg lens, you'll quickly tire of hand holding it and generally shoot from a tripod or a monopod. Like other super telephotos, it comes in a hard carrying case and is transported with a substantial lens hood reversed over the barrel and a hard fabric cap slid over the end. In use, just remove the lens cover and fit the lens hood the correct way round, after which you can safely stand the lens up on its hood. Might seem a bit scary for a $13,000 product, but believe me, that's how they're actually designed to be used. Sony's been careful to match the controls with the earlier FE 400mm f2.8 for a seamless experience switching between them. This includes the same diameter manual focusing ring as well as the twistable function ring alongside it, which can be programmed to return to, say, a preset focusing distance. Great for locking in the exact focus point of a race start or a bird's hunting branch. If you have an A9 body, you can alternatively configure the twisting ring to motorized focus, or to toggle between full frame and APS-C modes. On an outer ring are 4 buttons which all share the same custom function, typically focus lock, but you could alternatively go for, say, toggling eye detection. The control panel itself is also identical to the FE 400mm f2.8, with switches to set the focusing range, stabilization mode, and to configure the twistable function ring. Like most super telephoto lenses, there's no filter thread at the front, so instead filters are accommodated internally, near the front, using a drop-in slot system. Underneath the lens is a permanently mounted tripod foot with the choice of 2 thread sizes. The foot also includes a collar within which the lens barrel can rotate, handy for switching between portrait and landscape orientations while mounted, and it can double as a carrying handle too. Now for a selection of bursts I took with the FE 600mm f4 on an Alpha A9 body, and if you'd like a closer look at the originals, head to my corresponding review page at cameralabs.com. I generally shot using the zoned or expand area AF modes on the A9 and at the mid burst speed of 10 frames per second, and always with the lens wide open at f4. As you'd expect for a lens of this class and price, the FE 600mm f4 performs impeccably, with its dual XD linear motors focusing swiftly and the optics delivering very crisp images with high contrast and sharpness across the frame, even at the maximum aperture and right into the corners. To be fair though, this is the kind of optical performance you'd also enjoy from the latest Canon and Nikon super telephotos. But the difference here is the FE 600mm is the first prime of this length for a native full-frame mirrorless system, allowing it to take full advantage of the body's autofocus. It's a lens that pro sports and wildlife shooters have been waiting for, and it makes the Alpha system, particularly the A9 body, even more appealing to them. An almost flat MTF chart also means you'll enjoy great results with a teleconverter. I snapped these osprey and geese shots with the 600mm f4 using the 2x teleconverter for an equivalent of 1200mm f8, and they're all handheld shots too, although I wouldn't recommend shooting for long without a monopod. The Sony FE 600mm f4 G Master OSS becomes the second high-end super telephoto prime for alpha mirrorless cameras, and, like the FE 400mm f2.8 before it, makes the system more attractive to professional sports and wildlife photographers. Like its equivalents from Canon and Nikon, this is of course an expensive lens with limited appeal. It's designed for those who demand a very long focal length with a fast aperture, impeccable optical quality, and very quick focusing, and that combination doesn't come cheap. But while the pricing is similar to 600mm f4 models from Canon and Nikon, the FE 600mm scores with its native E-mount, allowing it to exploit the full power of the Alpha body's autofocus systems. Couple it with the A9 in particular, and you have a formidable combination that will further tempt professional shooters into adopting the Alpha system. So again, while lenses like these obviously have a limited audience, they're very important models to have in the catalogue to sell the system as a whole, especially to professionals or to agencies that support them. With a 400mm f2.8 and a 600mm f4 now in the range, the Alpha system has become a more serious contender in this market. So with pro wildlife and sports shooters better catered for than before, what lens would you like to see Sony make next? Let me know in the comments. Right, that's it for this first impressions video. It's always fun to check out some really high-end gear, but if you're looking for a long Sony lens at a much more affordable price, check out my video and review all about the new FE 200 to 600mm zoom that was released alongside the 600mm f4, which at $2,000 will appeal to a much larger market. If you're interested in this or indeed any lens, you can check the latest prices using the link below or head to cameralabs.com to download high-res versions of my sample images. As always, if you found this review useful, you can support me with a like and a follow, that really does help, and if you really liked it, you can treat me to a coffee or treat yourself to my in-camera book or a Camera Labs t-shirt. Again, there's links for all of this right below. Thanks again for watching, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.